All right, let's do some Mathity-Math. It says simplify the rational expression and then identify the value or values that x cannot be. Okay? And you must show each step of your process. Okay, we can handle this. Okay, so the first thing we want to look at when we go to simplify is we want to focus on the numerator or the denominator, but we don't do them both at the same time in general. So I think we should just go ahead and let's just start on the top and work our way down. So when we look at the numerator, we first go and we check the coefficients of each term. And we want to find the most restrictive coefficient, or in other words, I guess, typically the smallest coefficient. So we're going to go here to 8. Okay? And if we look at 8, we know that the factors of 8 will create the most restrictive situation because all the other numbers are bigger. For instance, 20 will never go into 8, 16 can't go into 8, but 8 might go into either one of those because 8 is the smallest. So over here, I'll just write the number 8. And just so we're all on the same page, I'll quickly write out the factors of 8. You have 1 times 8, and you have 2 times 4. Okay, so we have 4 factors we could play with. We know it's not going to be 1 because we never use 1 because 1 goes into everything. So we're just going to check each one. We can just work our way up. So let's check 2. Can 20 be divided by 2? Sure can, so that could work. We know 8 could work. 16 could work, and 32 could work. So 16 divided by 2 is 8, and 32 divided by 2 is 16. So 2 is a possibility. So this is called a common factor. But what we want to find is the greatest common factor, or the biggest factor they all share. So let's go check the 4. 20 divided by 4 is 8. That works. We know it works for 8. 16 divided by 4 is 4, and 32 divided by 4 is 8. So 4 works. Great. So now let's check 8. Okay, 20 divided by 8. Now there you go. See, 8 is not a factor of 20 because we get 8, 16, 24. So that doesn't work. So we know 8 is a no-go. So our greatest common factor is 4. So that's going to be how we handle our coefficient. I'll just write that down. But we also need to handle the variables and their exponents, okay? So again, we go to the smallest one, x to the third power, and that's what we'll be able to factor out of all of these, right? You can take 3x's out of 5x's, and you can take 3 out of 4, and you can take 3 out of 9. You can't take 5 out of 3 because then we get to a negative value, and that's a whole different ball of wax. So we know that we're going to take x to the third. And essentially what we do now is we just divide that out from every term along the way. So start with the coefficients. 20 divided by 4 is 5. And if you take 3x's from x to the 9th, you'd be left with 6. And if you're not sure, if you redistribute this, you'll get right back to where you started. See, 4 times 5 is 20. X to the third times x to the 6th is x to the 9th. So here we go. Keeping it going, we get 2x, okay? Because 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 4 minus 3 gives you just the 1. If you need to see the 1, it's right there. We just don't always write it. All right, let's just keep on moving here. 16 divided by 4 is negative 4, and then 5 minus 3, we get left with 2. And now usually we like to write these exponents in descending order, but just to shake it up a bit, I mixed them up. But usually we'd write it, 6, 2, 1, or it's like up here to be 9, 5, 4, 3. So they're all a bit mixed up, but just for practice, we'll let it slide. Okay. And then 32 divided by 4 is 8. And actually, the x's go away. So just like that, we've done the numerator. So now let's go take a look at the denominator. Same process. We'll take the smallest coefficient, which is 15. I'll just put it right over here, save some space. And 15 is 1, 15, 3, and 5. Okay, so let's check. Does 3 go into 35? It does not, because 3 times 10 is 30, 3 times 11 is 33, 3 times 12 is 36, so we missed that, so 3 doesn't work. We know 5 will work because 35 ends in 5. And 15 actually won't work because we go 15, 30, 45. So we know our greatest common factor here is 5. So we write that right there. And then we go to our smallest, and this is like to the first, okay? So we know it's going to be to the 5x. And there we go. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Okay. X squared minus x, just an x. And then 35 divided by 5 is 7. Okay. And oh, and the x's go away. All right. There we go. Now, at this point, you might look at this and say, ooh, 4 and 5, no common factors. Ha ha, I'm done. But in actuality, something here can factor out, right? And what can factor out is one of these x's. And so what I want to do, I'm going to rewrite this idea right here. Just this piece right here. I want to rewrite it over here, just like a little side thought, just a little sidebar. 4 times x to the third power is actually like saying 4 times x times x times x. And 5 to the x power is like saying 5 times x. So you can see when you do it like that these x's right here, they would cancel. And so what you're actually going to be left with is 4x to the second, right, xx, multiplied by 5x to the 6th plus 2x minus 4x squared plus 8. And then on the bottom, that x went away, so it's just 5 times 3x plus 7. Okay, now depending on what you're asked, you might be able to leave your answer just like that. But if you're asked to redistribute everything back into your numerator, into your denominator, you could do that. You probably won't be asked to do that, but if you are, now I can show you how to do it real fast so we're all on the same page. What's going to actually happen is this will just all redistribute back, and you'd find that all you lost was an x along the way. See, 4 times 5 is 20, and then x squared times x to the 6th is x8. You can see I got 20x to the 8th, and that was 20x to the 9th, so we just lost an x along the way. 4 times 2 is 8, and x squared times x is x to the 3rd. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16, and then x squared and x squared gives you x to the 4th. And then 4x squared times 8 would be plus 32x squared. If you want to be a very, very nice math student, you could reorder these in descending order, but like I say, we'll let it slide. And then redistributing this, you just get 15x plus 35. So after all of that, all we got to factor out was one little x. But that's good work. Put a frame on it. You should be proud of it. Good work and good job as always. If you want to be notified of any new videos I made, don't forget to subscribe. And if there's something you want to see, more practice that needs to be had, just shoot me a message in the comments below and I'll try my best to make it happen. Thank you. Goodbye.